Welcome back to NASCAR World News. Something is seriously broken inside Richard Childress Racing right now. And even Kevin Harvick, a man who has witnessed nearly everything this sport has to offer, says he cannot fully explain what is happening with Kyle Busch. And when a driver like Harvick is left scratching his head, you know the situation is far worse than anyone is willing to admit. Kyle Busch is a two-time Cup Series champion. He carries 63 career victories. He has 392 top 10 finishes. He is arguably one of the greatest drivers of his entire generation. So when a driver of that caliber goes 8 straight races in 2026 without a single win, without even one top 10 finish, people start demanding real answers. Fans are furious, reporters are digging deep, and now even his former rivals are trying to piece together exactly what went wrong. Why are RCR drivers Kyle Busch and Austin Dillon having such a disastrous start to the season? Harvick did not hold back, but he also did not pretend to have all the answers from inside that race shop. What he said was refreshingly honest, and it tells a story that runs far deeper than Kyle Busch simply having a rough weekend at the track. Harvick opened his response with a straightforward admission. He said, "I don't know that answer because I'm not within the walls." Harvick explained that winning in today's NASCAR is not about one single magic solution. It is about tiny details executed correctly over and over again. He said the keys to this race car are details. It is how many details can you stack. Think carefully about that word, stack. Harvick is saying every small detail builds upon the previous one, and the teams that correctly stack the most details are the ones celebrating in victory lane. And he went even further. Harvick explained that these details begin long before the car ever reaches the racetrack. He said that starts from when you get the chassis in the shop to the body panels that go on the car. So from the moment that bare chassis rolls through the shop doors, every single thing matters. Every bolt, every panel, every minor adjustment counts. If even a handful of small things are wrong, the entire car suffers. Then Harvick made a point that genuinely surprised many fans. He said this is not just an RCR problem. He added, "You look at the Chevrolets in general, they've had a lot to work through." So according to Harvick, the entire Chevrolet camp has been battling serious issues this season, not exclusively Kyle Busch's team. That is an enormous clue. It suggests Busch may be trapped inside a problem that stretches well beyond his own pit box. But Harvick did not completely let RCR off the hook either. He delivered a thorough breakdown of where races are genuinely won and lost in today's NASCAR. He said this is all about details. If you're struggling, it's all about your processes and your details and your simulation and your tools and who's putting all that stuff into the simulator and what you're getting out of the simulation, into the simulation, and how you put those and adapt those things to the setup of the car. Now that is a mouthful, so let us break it down simply. Modern NASCAR teams use computers to prepare long before arriving at any racetrack. They construct a digital version of both the car and the circuit inside a simulator. The driver climbs in, runs laps, and the team identifies what works. But here's the critical catch. If the people feeding information into that computer are doing it incorrectly, then everything the driver learns from it is also wrong. The car arrives at the track already at a disadvantage. Harvick is essentially suggesting RCR may be receiving flawed information going into the simulator, producing bad results coming out, and then struggling to translate any of it into a competitive car on race day. That is a devastating diagnosis, and the numbers absolutely back it up. Through 8 races in 2026, Kyle Busch has 0 wins and 0 top 10 finishes. Compare that to this exact same point last year. At race 8 in 2025, Busch already had 4 top 10 finishes recorded, including a solid 5th place at COTA. So within just 12 months, he's gone from running near the front to barely appearing on the leaderboard. And this is where the story becomes even more alarming, because this slump didn't just appear overnight. Kyle Busch's struggles have been the talk of the garage for multiple seasons now. His last win came at Gateway back in 2023. That means he's endured the complete 2024 season, the complete 2025 season, and now the opening stretch of 2026 without ever reaching victory lane. For a driver who once won at nearly every track he visited, that reality is almost impossible to comprehend. It gets worse. Busch has missed the playoffs 2 consecutive years. The last time he finished inside the top 10 of the final season standings was 2021, when he ended the year 9th overall. So we're watching 4 straight seasons of decline from one of the biggest names this sport has ever seen. When Kyle Busch originally joined Richard Childress Racing in 2023, the move looked genuinely promising. He was just departing Joe Gibbs Racing after many successful years, and he came in swinging immediately. In his very first RCR season, he collected 3 wins and finished 14th in the final standings. 3 wins in year 1 is a strong performance by any measure. So the real question becomes, what actually changed? He's now in his 4th season with RCR, and the very team that delivered 3 wins in his debut year can't manage even one top 10 finish through 8 races in 2026. Something inside that organization has fundamentally shifted, and Harvick's words about details and simulation suddenly carry much heavier meaning. And Kyle Busch is not suffering alone here. His RCR teammate Austin Dillon is experiencing the identical nightmare. Dillon has been a full-time Cup Series driver for RCR since 2014, meaning he knows every corner of that organization. Yet right now, just like Busch, Dillon has 0 wins and 0 top 10 finishes through 8 2026 races. That is a massive warning signal. When one driver struggles, people typically blame the driver. When both drivers on the same team are struggling in precisely the same manner, the blame shifts directly towards the organization itself. This is the clearest evidence yet that Harvick may be completely right. The problem is not Kyle Busch, the driver. The problem is originating from somewhere deep inside the walls of RCR. Dillon's most recent win came at Richmond in 2025, a victory that punched his ticket straight into the playoffs, where he ultimately finished 15th in the standings. So Dillon was genuinely competitive as recently as last season. Now, just months later, he can't crack the top 10. That is not a driver declining. That is a team losing its grip on competitiveness. Kyle Busch is not some journeyman fighting simply to keep his ride. This is a man carrying 2 Cup Series championships, 63 career Cup victories, and 392 top 10 finishes across 757 starts. Drivers with numbers like those are Hall of Fame certainties. Drivers with numbers like those do not simply forget how to race. So when a proven champion of that magnitude can't crack the top 10 through 8 races, something far larger is clearly happening beneath the surface. Harvick's message was unmistakable, even without naming specific individuals. In today's NASCAR, championships are built on the small things: chassis preparation, body panel fitting, simulator accuracy, tools, personnel, and internal processes. When one link in that chain breaks, the entire operation slows down. And right now, RCR appears to have several links broken simultaneously. The frightening reality for Kyle Busch supporters is that time is not cooperating. Every week that passes without a win or a strong result brings him 1 week closer to missing the playoffs for a 3rd consecutive season. And if the problems Harvick described, the simulator failures, the broken processes, the neglected details, run as deep as he suggests, these are not issues you solve with a quick overnight fix. You can't simply swap one component Saturday morning and transform everything by Sunday afternoon. The pressure is now squarely on Richard Childress Racing to prove they can still build a championship-caliber race car.